opportunity to tune in and watch a couple of races. We're about to go racing here. Front row of the grid, Ben Simpson and Brock Mitchell.
This should be a cracker, I reckon.
Mitchell's in a rare vein of form at the moment. He's gotten himself up to the pointy end where he's just about a match for Jamie Finesse in terms of pace of the regular runners, and Menteifel's made a magnificent start from 4th position. He's going to outpace, no, he's had to give best a little bit. Caught wide. So Jason Levitt settles into 3rd. Scott Andriska's made a great start there to be up into 4th position. Of course, that car is a particularly familiar car. That's the ex-Raymond Connell car. It's had a lick of paint.
Here comes Jason Levitt. They're 3 wide in the turn 3.
Oh, here we go. Mitchell is going a little conservative at the moment. Levitt not so much. He's out after Simpson as quickly as he can. As this field comes through, Bruce French has started well in the Stealth Bomber.
Yeah, French will give it to him. He'll come back up to probably the top 3 somewhere, but yeah, by the end of the race, it's anybody's game though.
He's nosed ahead of Andriski there as Mitchell locks the brake into turn 4. Trying to prevent from swapping paint with Jason Levitt on his outside. And French is tucked right in behind them.
Yep.
If there's enough track there on the outside of Mitchell, they'll go 3 wide, but there isn't.
And you can see why these blokes are dicing like this. Ben's just sneaking away again, just like the last event.
And the first race as well. As we got a car straight into the pits. That's I think that was Brock.
No, Frenchie.
Oh, of course, yes. There's so many dark-coloured or black-shaded cars at the front of the field. You even go back to around 9th or 10th, and there's Troy Montgomery there as well, another black-shaded car. It's Montgomery there, who was involved in a 3-car accident in yesterday's action. He's right back into the top 10 of the field there, and he's climbing up onto Menteifel's tail.
Yeah, he's coming through.
Yeah, on the back of that. So once again, we're seeing about a 7 or 8 car battle forming for 2nd place.
And two wide down the back straight again. I think it's Brock Mitchell and Scotty Andriski.
Levitt holds 2nd for the moment, but he's got a massive pack of cars. It's all a bit Noah's Ark 2x2 in behind Levitt, because obviously there was Menteifel was side by side with Turner. Turner was able to get the job done under brakes and move just that slightly bit clear of Menteifel.
Brett Turner's doing very well here too. He's in amongst it.
It's always been a quick car, but sometimes, you know, Brett's only on the pace for mid-pack, and sometimes he's on front-running pace, as we see Levitt here in the CNW car ahead of Mitchell. Scott Andrisk and the Harvey Mechanical and Welding machine is tucked right in behind there. Then Menteifel in Pete Marshall's number 3 car. Another car that's regularly quick. There's quite a few fast cars up here in Queensland these days.
Yeah, they used to get 2 or 3 sort of run away, but now it's changing. They're all getting on the pace now. As you can see, there's nothing in it in the lap time, so just a matter of getting a good start and not getting boxed in anywhere.
They can be a little bit deadly. You're slowed up in the opening laps, and then the pack gets away.
Jason Levitt's gone off.
It's rejoining onto the track now, but that's
Scott Andriski will get a run on him now down the back straight.
And Mitchell through into that 2nd place.
Jimmy Menteifel's coming too.
Now there's an opportunity here for Brock, if he can get away with it, that he might be able to get away from this pack, but no. Levitt's been able to hang on to the aerodynamic hole in the air that these Kiwis make.
Levitt's dive bombed him again. He's back up the inside of him. Menteifel's up the inside of Andriski.
Half the people in Australia have grown up inside of a Kingswood of varying forms, so we're all familiar with just how much space they can take up on road. So they, in motor racing form, they do create an impressive hole in the air for others to follow.
I was one of the kids that used to camp in the boot of a HQ when Mum and Dad took us on a road trip. Yep.
So Dad was a tradie, and that was his. He had a HX wagon for a while for his tradie vehicle. Simpson's running away now, but Mitchell being threatened on each side by a black and white car.
Yeah, it's on there. This is really good. It's just like the last race.
Yeah.
Five to six cars all battling for second.
The pack there was a little bit slow through turn 6, and that's allowed Turner to climb off onto Menteiffel's tail. We've got a car slowing out there, the 89 car. It's
Timmy Boyle, I think.
Yes, Boyle Jr.
Tim's unfortunately had a few little issues this weekend. He's quick when he's going, but it's just some issue with the car that they haven't quite got on top of yet.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, well, we had a quick chat to Rod Boyle earlier this weekend. Tim's fell sideways. That's Scott Andrisk losing the back end of the number 4 car.
He did well to catch that then. He had it all crossed up, but he gathered it up.
Yeah, had the left rear very definitely out on the outside of turn 2. Can be an unhappy situation to be that upset on the exit of 2. Now I'm looking at the timesheets this time around, and it doesn't look like on the times that Simpson is being reeled in at all, but I think Simpson's had a bit of an off lap there because Mitchell looked noticeably closer that time through turn 3. Of course, turn 3 being the slowest corner on the track, there is a compressing effect under brakes and then under acceleration again, and makes the gaps look smaller than what they actually are.
Ben's got a nice handy gap. He might be just pacing himself from here on in. Here's Jimmy Menteifel having another look at the end inside.
Yeah, well, we saw what happened in the Gemini race just before, where Nick Rangeley was just pacing himself for a while, and Ben Tomlin broke away from the pack and was able to mow him down. And it came down to just about transponder position as to who won that race.
Yeah, it was a close finish, that one.
So Menteifel and Scott Andrisk side by side through turn 1.
Brock Mitchell's just posted the fastest lap of the race at 36.4.
And Simpson was mid 37, so certainly Brock has eaten into the gap to the race leader. I thought they looked a bit closer at turn 3. Someone's off at turn 2.
Jason Levitt dropped the wheel off.
As we watch here, this is the battle for 4th place between Andrisk and Menteifel, with Brett Turner tucked in behind. You can see 2nd and 3rd just ahead there in Mitchell and Levitt.
Jimmy Menteifel and Scotty Andriski and Brett Turner, they've been battling it out all day. They're having a ball. There's nothing in it in lap times.
And we can see Montgomery, who's doing a fantastic job just hanging on to the tail end of this bleeding pack, if you like. There's quite a gap from Montgomery back to Mark Levitt, although I believe Mark Levitt may be dealing with some sleepless issues with a new bub in the home.
Rightio, you get that. Yeah, we're missing Mike McLeod in this one, and Mike's looks like he might have done a head gasket or something like that in the last event, so he chose not to risk it in this one. So
yeah, he was right on the pace this morning. Well, yesterday I should say.
Yeah, he was going well.
Was able to. Ben Simpson mowed him down in one race, but in the other one he was able to clear out for a win in yesterday's racing. So we see Tim Boyle's car being towed away, and has been corrected that we do have 2 Tim Boyles racing at club level in Queensland now.
Yeah.
This is not the Tim Boyle who's been racing in Geminis for around a decade. So we see on screen there's Bruce French, who's had to have a drive-through for some reason, and he's working his way back through the pack. As we go back to the battle here for 4th place, Turner's losing a bit of ground here on 3 and 4. Andriski gets up the inside of Menteifel.
Yeah, I'll go side by side up to turn 4 again, and Jimmy will probably come out in front again, I reckon.
And that has allowed Turner to catch back up again. The compromise lines through turn 3.
That's it. There goes Jimmy. He's got half a car length on Scotty again, so they'll go at it for the next lap again.
Oh, and Menteifel locks another one.
Flat spot Jimmy does it again. That's number 9, that tyre.
That wasn't too bad of a brake lock, I hope. You can see Montgomery still visible in the long shots there, but you can't see anyone back behind Montgomery. There's like we've only been able to see the top half of the field, but it is pretty much half and half. So there's a whole gang of cars out there that we're not really getting much of a sighting of. There's Simpson, and Mitchell is definitely mowing him down.
Yeah, Scotty Andriski's got through on Jimmy Manteifel, and Brett Turner's waiting there having a sniff as well. So, Jimmy gets it all crossed up. Turn one, he's caught it.
And here's the opportunity for Turner. No, he couldn't take it.
He lost a bit of ground doing that. He's dropped back off Scotty, but he'll mow him back down again in another lap or so.
Turner had a brief look to duck up the inside, but Manteifel was still correcting the car at the time, and perhaps concerned about a proper sized tank slapper. There's been a few on-track incidents in a couple of the classes here today. Certainly the Queensland touring cars have bent up a couple of cars from various issues.
Yeah.
Now just looking at the timesheets, now we can still see Montgomery inside there. He's down in 7th position. Mark Levitt is best of the rest that we're not able to see at the moment. Ahead of Alan Shuttlewood, Noel Cunnington, Andrew Toff, Mark Strachan and Bruce French, who's not made much impression of working his way back through the field. The gaps are big down where he is, so it's really struggling to make any impression coming back through the pack.
And Brock Mitchell's consistently...
and we mentioned Andrew Toff for the first time in the race, and here he is on camera backwards.
Brock Mitchell's consistently half or second a lap quicker than Ben Sims, so yeah, he's definitely mowing him down. He's just about on him now, so we're going to have a battle for the lead in a minute.
And here they are.
Brock's just working away.
It's half a car length between them now, so it's effectively a lead battle. He's right in the tow. Stretches to a full car length as they negotiate turn 2. But on the back straight here, we'll see. We have the battle of force here.
He's having a look, but not going to be this time.
Certainly being sucked along in the tow, so we'll get into Morse code range. And Toft has not been able to restart after that spin. In fact, the car looks like it's leaning on the front left corner slightly. Front right corner, I should say. Now, it might just be because that's the corner of the car that's off the circuit.
Yeah.
Or it could be that there's a puncture.
And the wheels are turned as well, which sort of jacks the side of the car up. They've slowed them up, so I think there might have a pace car happening, I think.
Yeah, I think we've gone to clamp down because where Toff's car is parked is 3 of the 4 tyres are on the bitumen, so it's a car that does need to be retrieved, and certainly we wouldn't want any outbraking manoeuvres to suddenly come to a physical halt because there's a car there. So yes, we've got a bit of time, so we're not going, and bearing in mind that clamp down or safety car laps, whichever your preferred, I guess virtual safety car is the terminology that certainly Formula One is using, that what we call a clamp down here, where effectively the race leader is your safety car.
Brock, I'm just looking at the time, but Brock Mitchell's just put in an absolute blinder of a lap time. He's done a 35.5. He's the only car in the 35s. Wow. He's absolutely hauling at the moment. That's why he's caught up to Ben so quick. Ben's doing a low 36, 36.1, 36.2. So when this race resumes, it's going to be on.
Well, it just goes to show from that opening lap how much of an advantage of Ben Simpson was able to gain, being the only one in free space.
Yep.
While everyone else was tearing each other apart, trying to secure a second place on the track.
That's it.
It's held them all up, but once Brock Mitchell was able to get away from that, he's had sufficient vehicle pace to mow down the race leader, and we've gone green.
Gone green again.
And here we go. Mitchell's going for the lead through turn 3. Well, it was an interesting time for the circuit to go green because they were just on the point of braking for turn 3. So Mitchell was able to gain an additional advantage there.
Well, we'll just get himself back in the groove now and get right on Ben. He's got just a car length to get right on him, and he'll have another crack probably.
So we're on lap 8 now, although with the length of time that we were under a clamp down, we might get an extra lap on this race. So there's either 4 or 5 laps remaining. I guess the only way we'll find out is when the checkered flag is draped. Mitchell right on Simpson's hammer as they come onto the Dick Johnson straight. And here he is, Brock Mitchell having a look for the race lead. Well, Simpson's car certainly not lacking in the going forward department.
Yeah, there's nothing in the speed. Brock's best opportunity is try and get a toe down the back straight. He's lining himself up.
Simpson was a little wide on the exit of 1 there. They had enough time to clean the line up before they get to turn 2, so not too much damage to his race lead. But here we go. Looks like Mitchell's already got the nose poked out in the air.
Can't quite do it this time. He didn't get a good enough run on the back straight. Ben got a good enough run to hold him out.
Mitchell might have had to feather slightly with Simpson's compromised run through turn 1, and lost momentum through turn 2 as a result of that. Now looking back, we see Jason Levitt there is in free space in 3rd place, so he might be able to catch on to that lead duo now as Simpson starts to drive defensive. Mitchell turned in early to straighten up the corner. Simpson was a little wide through turn 5 that time, so there's potential here for Mitchell. Simpson certainly got some straight line poke. He's able to keep Mitchell at bay each time. Now, here's a potential issue here. We're catching the tail markers now, and we're about to come up on the back of Wayne Back's car by the look of things. And it won't be before they negotiate turn 1, so there's potential here that they'll catch Wayne Back in the middle of turn 2 and Simpson might get boxed in. Oh, there's a contact in camera there, and that's Shuttlewood and Cunnington. So Shuttlewood backwards to the race direction, and the pair of them sort each other out.
Just
and
a
resume.
slight touch, wasn't much in it though.
Cunnington rejoins in the same position he was in before, but Shuttlewood's lost 2 spots. They gave the spots away to Bruce French, actually, who's still working his way back through the field, and Mark Strachan might have gotten through as well. So there's Wayne Back, and they still hadn't caught him yet. So they get him on the run to turn 4, and it looks like Mitchell might be compromised here, because Simpson actually couldn't get it done in time, so both of them have had to, well, Wayne Back hugged the inside line as much as he could, so certainly nothing to suggest that Wayne did anything wrong there.
Here comes Brock, he's having a look down the inside. Can't. Oh.
No, he's going for it. It's optimistic at this range.
He's in there. And side by side on the straight.
Forceful manoeuvre there from Brock Mitchell.
Ben's probably got the better run around the outside, but Brock's got half a mudguard on him, but there's not much in it. Yeah, Ben's got the speed now to probably nail him at the end of the straight.
And here's Jason Levitt there in 3rd position. So he's definitely cutting down the gap to Simpson and Mitchell. Might run out of time though, because I think we're on the last lap now. So Simpson continues to hold the lead, but nonetheless Mitchell's shown his intent with half a lap of the Dick Johnson straight in front. Sorry, half the length of the Dick Johnson straight in front. This isn't the old Strathpine circuit.
Brock's having another look down the inside again. Oof. Not much in it.
No. Simpson again definitely prefers the wide line out of turn 3. Mitchell not quite close enough to have a bomb dive at turn 4. Levitt's closing. If the race is lengthened by a lap, then Levitt could be right in the mix here as well. Possibly not for the win, but if the race does get extended because of the clampdown, then Levitt might put himself in a position to take second away from Mitchell. Look to see what's happening at the tower at the moment. Simpson leads them on to the final corner. Mitchell's got up the
Checker
inside.
flagged out. Mitchell's up the inside of him. I think Ben's going to hold on for the win though.
Yeah, he got the better exit.
Yep.
But there you go, just less than a car length in it at the end, and Levitt less than a second behind at the finish. So a great run there by Jason Levitt, coming home in third position.
And that, I think it was probably in the last race, but that race there definitely wraps up the Queensland HQ Club Championship for young Brock Mitchell.
Oh, well done, Brock. That's magnificent stuff. He's been definitely the most improved driver in the HQ class over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, he's third year, and he's just 19 years old, so he's pretty happy, and so is his family.
Yeah, well, played strong, done fine to wrap up the championship.
He started and finished every single race last year, and so far this year he started and finished every single race. He's the only driver in the HQ ranks that started and finished every race again.
Well,
not a bad
finishing
effort.
every race is one thing, but when you can do it and collect wins as well, then
not a bad effort for a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jason Levitt home for third position. Jimmy Monteifel was able to claim fourth ahead of Scott Andresk. Then Brett Turner was home for sixth position ahead of Troy Montgomery. Then we drop back to that second group of cars, and Mark Levitt has been able to hold out from the recovering Bruce French. Next was Mark Strachan, who's done a fair job this weekend to make the top 10. It's a bit of rare air for Mark. But